now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, PoGo.
It's PoGo! PoGo! It's PoGo! PoGo! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PoGo! PoGo.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Puckle Podcast. I'm your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with my spectacular co-host. We've got the one and only Fluffiest Whimsicott.
Ciao, everyone.
And we've got Sharkfinnagin.
Hello.
This is the first episode I think I've been on with Sharkfinnagin in like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And it makes me sad. That's not because Shark hasn't been on the show either. It's just that I've been... Yeah, you've been filling in for me. Honestly, that's what's been happening.
Yeah, that's basically what's been happening. It's
yeah.
I just been kind of busy on the weekend. It's like, the few times I've been more available is the times you happen to not be here for whatever.
Yeah, the days that I do not exist for Puckle for a number of reasons.
It's all ships passing in the night.
Tell me about it. I'm actually super hyped for this now, though. But welcome to the Puckle Podcast. Puckle, of course, standing for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name we came up with in 2007, where we talk everything Pokemon, from the trading card game to the video game to everything in between. And I've been playing some VGC this week because that's the Puckle Badge Bonanza. I'm not going to say I'm good at it right now. I'm definitely better than your average bear, but that's just because it's like riding a bike to some extent.
I love that you said your average bear, like they have opposable thumbs to play on the Switch.
I can imagine an Ursaring playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm better than your average bear. So, but I don't know. I don't want to sound too cocky, but I definitely believe at one point I was probably in the top 15-ish% of Pokemon players in terms of competitive Pokemon.
We remember.
Yeah.
No, I made but actually
that joke. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah.
I wasn't even making a reference to that specific instance.
Yes.
But that specific instance, I because when I used to stream very heavily and I would do a lot of viewer battles, I got so much practice.
Of
right?
course, yeah.
And so I was I used to be able to. I remember being able to see 5 moves ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I am not there at all anymore. At best I can do is maybe 2. Occasionally I'll get 3.
That's still a lot, though.
Yeah, no, which isn't bad, right?
Way more than the average bear.
Yeah, again, better than the average bear, but I'm and also I don't know. We'll talk about it more at the topic today probably, but one of the benefits and not benefits of going with this new way of doing VGC, which is these Pokemon are the ones that are available in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's so much, the metas change and swing so much compared to being I can lean on my old staples and then try to figure it out from there.
Mm-hmm.
So I do enjoy this one specifically. I didn't really enjoy Gen 8 VGC so much. I didn't think it was great, but this one I'm having a good time with. I'm having a good time. So.
I also think that in general, Terra, as opposed to Dynamax as a gimmick for VGC, is a lot healthier. So,
I think it's a lot more fun in general, and I don't think it's super overpowered because you can unlike Dynamax, you can use it incorrectly.
Yeah,
you can blow it. Dynamax, I don't think you can blow entirely.
Dynamax would affect your entire team with the side effects of the max moves.
Yes,
and some of them were just Charizard's just broken. So.
Yes, I do agree with you on that. But yeah, I've been doing that. I've still been playing TCG myself a little bit as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not as much this week because VGC's been where it's at, but I've just been getting in. I've been getting into the Dragapult deck because I think Dragapult might be the better Dragapult deck now compared to Regidrago. So we've got that going for it. And I like decks where you can spread damage counters on benches. That is a lot of fun to me because you get to do the math on the most optimal way to do the KOs.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really enjoy that style of play. So Dragapult is fun. What about you guys? Anything you guys been up to? Having fun?
Well, so I had a bit of an IRL misadventure a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I heard.
Yep. And so one of the results is that I no longer have my Switch. which means I get to replay all of Gen 8 and 9. So,
Yay.
which, I mean, it's the best year for that to happen because we don't have a new game.
Yeah,
Honestly,
that's true.
That's
Actually,
valid.
yeah. Actually,
I'm Pollyannaing this as much as I can. But yeah, so I decided to start with Sword, and I am currently sitting in front of the first gym with Just Evolved Alchemy, which I think is gonna have to carry me because I did not pick a fire starter.
yeah.
Oh, that'll be Alchemy will do a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, at least you get to play it and like, I don't know, experience it. And I don't know, it feels kind of cool to like have an end goal in mind. Like, oh, I need to do this and this, right?
Yeah, in a way it does. Like, I certainly appreciate the chance to, like, I have to finish them again. Have to, you know, in heavy
Have
quotes.
to in hard quotes, yeah.
Yeah, but I am not in a rush as I would be because I already know all the spoilers.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
So, you know, I'm trying to find the silver lining, and the silver lining is I get to re-experience these games a bit fresh, a bit not fresh. It's something. It's something.
Yeah, that's good. At least
Mhm.
making the best of it. And you have no deadline because we still don't know when
Yep.
AZ is coming out. So
Exactly.
I'm still telling you it's going to be November 2025. I am
Yeah,
so
it's
probably.
looking more and more like that.
at this point I am like 99.9% confident that that is the case.
Yeah.
I think there's a small minuscule chance that they're just like, so by the way, you're getting 2 games this year. We're going to have A to Z or Z to A in the summer, and then you're going to get Gen 10 in November. I think there's a slight
No.
chance for that, but I don't think it's very high.
yeah.
I don't see that happening. I could see like a spin-off coming out in the spring, a tiny spin-off. Something
Oh, yeah.
like, I don't know, another port of some dungeon game or something like that.
I would
And
love that.
then ZA as your like holiday game.
I would absolutely love if they would come out. So like I have tried to play Pokemon Explorers of Sky on the DS because I bought a copy of it like years ago before like it skyrocketed, because I think right now to buy a copy of it on DS is like insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's let me look. Now I'm curious. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. To buy the game right now, if I wanted to buy it. Oh, GameStop sells retro games now. I forgot about this. GameStop realized there's no money. It's like $60-ish to buy a copy of Explorers of Sky.
Wow.
And I bought it for like, I was like in a bin for like $15 when I bought it.
Okay.
So I just bought it to like have it
Good idea.
because people said it was good, and I keep trying to play it, but the problem is there's just so many like quality of life improvements that modern video games have made
Mm-hmm.
in that time. It's the same issue I have with Pokemon Conquest nowadays. And so it's just such a slog to get through it that I just haven't sat down and actually played through it. So if they came out with like a remake of that for Switch, like they did Mystery Dungeon DX, I would love it.
Oh, yeah. It definitely fits. Because we didn't get the Mystery Dungeon DX. I think we found out about it in December, and then it launched in March. I think it was something like that. It was that quick of a timeline. So there's still plenty of time to just drop a spin on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think right now the timeline for anything Switch in the first half of next year is kind of awkward right now, because I don't think that they know for sure when they're going to be able to launch the Switch 2.
Yeah,
So-
no, you're absolutely correct. They have no idea when the Switch 2 is coming. That is not anything that's coming anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah, but they know, like, they've said that it's coming, and now people want it, and people want it as soon as possible, and there's not going to be like a real launch title for it.
Oh yeah.
So everything is super awkward.
I mean,
Super
if they should be smart and hopefully make it backwards compatible. I wouldn't imagine they wouldn't do that.
I think the rumors are that it's going to be.
It has to be. That's how,
Oh, yeah.
like, you think about the success of the 3DS,
Exactly.
and the 3DS's success, it was partially aided by the fact that when it launched, it already had this giant back catalog due to just
Yeah.
having the DS catalog.
Yeah. And I've seen the rumors, the leaks and stuff, and that thing, if it's true, It's going to be like more expensive than a Switch OLED. It's going to be like barely portable because that's like giant slab of a console. Like calling it portable is very generous.
Yes.
And if you have no real reason to buy it like a cool launch title, it's gonna stay on the shelves, and it's a mess for Nintendo if that stays on the shelves.
Mm-hmm.
So it's awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. All right. Well, this has been an intro, so...
We didn't ask Shark what he's been doing.
Oh, yeah. Shark, what have you been doing? I guess we cut you out.
Hey.
You got on the wrong show, bud. You're with me and Whimsicott.
No, that's fine. But what I've been doing is just mainly doing the Pokemon badge bonanza for the Johto. Mm-hmm. For Johto, I basically did... First, I did just kind of a speed run because I was trying to just because I didn't know how much time I would be able to have. So I was like, let me just try to beat it quickly. So I just basically just did a Feraligatr solo speed run type of thing. And it went pretty well, and now I'm just kind of in front of a hoe trying to see if I could shiny hunt it, just out of just to see. But then also, Sigma just happened to just like say, I'm surprised no one's done Gym Leader Castle 2 in Pokemon Stadium 2, and I'm like,
oh, that's on my list. That's on my list, okay?
And so I went and did that one too, so I did two. I did 2 clears, and that was honestly a whole lot of fun. Because I had not done a Gym Leader Castle for Pokemon Stadium 2, and that was so much fun doing that one. So I did follow a guide, but doesn't matter. It's still a lot of RNG and a lot of fun just to try to.
Nice.
It's a good time actually.
Mm-hmm.
Do recommend. But yeah, all right then. So now we can kick it on over. We're gonna go to the news. So let's cue that epic music.
Live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
Welcome to the news. In the news, we have things to talk about somehow. In Pokemon Unite, Darkrai releases in Unite this Thursday. So spooky time has begun with Darkrai in Pokemon Unite. The anime also received a new opening and ending in Japan. Kilowattrel wears sunglasses for a moment, so that's cool.
Ooh.
Yeah. And Nintendo is running a test for upcoming online features, and the playtest filled up almost immediately.
Yeah, I tried to do it. It literally not even a minute, and it's already full. And I'm like, no.
Thatch is technically ineligible because I refused to pay for the Nintendo Switch Online expansion until they give me Pokemon.
Yep.
That's fair.
That's kind of where I'm at because until they put Pokemon Red and Blue on there or something, I just don't care. I know the features exist in Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Stadium 2 for some kind of transfer pack functionality, and they have not alluded to any use of that. My imagination is when we get Gen 10, probably in 2026. Or maybe even after Z to A, the Pokemon Bank will shut down. And when Pokemon Bank shuts down, there will be more of a not a kick in the pants, but they'll probably be like, okay, and now you have Pokemon Red and Blue on the Nintendo Switch Online. Hey,
Red, Blue, Gold, Silver, Crystal, and you know what? We'll drop Ruby and Sapphire for y'all too, just because.
I think Ruby and Sapphire. I think there's a chance for that. Yeah, I don't think it'll all come at once. I think it'll trickle out like it did previously.
Yeah,
where they'll probably my full expectation. And the way I imagine this going is February 26, 2026. We will get Red and Blue for the Virtual Console, Red, Blue, and Yellow.
Yeah.
Or not in the Virtual Console.
For the 30th anniversary.
For the 30th anniversary, we will get that. And then about 6 months later, they'll be Gold, Silver, and Crystal are coming too. Hey! And then for the, and then maybe a little bit later, they'll be Gen 3 is coming to the GBA. And I think that would go over pretty well.
At that point, you have a version of Gen 4 on the Switch.
Yep.
And if you have a lot of Unova Pokemon in Legends ZA, then you have a way to get those into home as well. So
Yep.
it kind of works
After
out.
Z to A, I am pretty confident that every Pokemon will have a home and a Switch title.
Yeah.
So
It would make a lot of sense.
you'll be able to catch everything in Nintendo Switch by the time Z to A comes out. I pretty much figured that was what was happening because of the Furfur problem.
Yes.
Still have.
But I assume like the other like 5 Pokemon we're missing will be there. Like the elemental monkeys will be there because like they're very early on in Kalos. And I'm sure they'll just find a way to squeeze Patrat in and we call it a day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Patrat could be there. Whether it's regular or regional or however they want to do it, it doesn't matter. There'll be a Patrat.
So everything's here now. And then I wouldn't be surprised if Gen 10 for like the 30th anniversary they did try to do like an everybody's here type moment like Smash Brothers. But we'll see. I digress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
it's one of those, now you've made me think about it, and I don't want to think about it too hard and then get disappointed when it doesn't happen.
Oh, it's not happening, but it's not
know.
happening, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like my immediate thought if that happens is goes, oh, cool. They're selling us back a feature we used to have.
Yeah.
That would be my first thought, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of main series games, our Scarlet and Violet news are that we don't know what the news is because we record on Saturday. Sorry for breaking the fourth wall. And we don't know if there was an announcement for the next event before the show came out, but after we recorded. Speculation is that since Halloween is closing in, we might see a 7-star Fluttermane because we had Iron Bundle for Christmas and Fluttermane would, make sense thematically with Halloween.
Yeah.
And in other Scarlet and Violet adjacent news, on Smogon, there was going to be an OU suspect test for Glysaur, but cheating was uncovered in the recent Kyurem suspect test, so the Kyurem ban has been overturned, and I think they're scrambling to fix everything over there right now. So
How do you cheat?
Yeah.
How do you cheat on a suspect test? How does it happen?
Basically, what happens is, like, this is when I've kind of pieced together because I just saw this, like, really read it because I just saw, Kyurem's unbanned, cool. But then I read it this morning, got a little bit closer. Basically, people, because it's a laddering, because you have to ladder to be able to be eligible to vote. Basically, people were cheating to get a number of accounts to be eligible to vote. And this had been, apparently, they've been uncovering it. This has been happening with a couple of the suspect tests, but this is the first time, like, this is now they finally found out.
Wow.
And so that's why they're putting it on pause. But for this Kyurem one, which is one that's kind of been very close, originally, it had 61.8% support, which is their minimum is 60%. But because 11 votes were deemed illegal, the new percentage is down to 59.
Oh no.
So it's literally dropped like 2% from, which was just enough to go from banned to unbanned. So that was that close for it. So
Wow.
So yeah. So now they're gonna figure out how they're gonna fix how to do these ban testings now because of that. So
yeah.
I was like,
all right. Well, what else is next?
Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
We've got a couple things coming up now. So the big event this upcoming week is the Magnetic Study event, which will be running from the 15th to the 17th of October, which will feature increased shiny odds for Plusle, Minun, and Magnemite. They're basically kind of have specific days for each of them, plus some extra research to guarantee encounters for them. As well, Saturday the 19th is a Yamask Research Day from 2 to 5 local time.
Okay.
And then in the first week, the first part of the Halloween event, it'll be from the 22nd to the 28th, which will have more Pekko being into the game, as well as Ghastly in the Dynamax 1-star rates. So got that going on. And then in November, Community Day will be Mankey, which will give Rage Fist to both Primeape and Annihilate.
Cool.
All right. Well, okay, never mind. That's Pokemon Go. You finished with the Pokemon TCG. Yep. Yeah.
All right. In the TCG, there's going to be a full art Spheal in the November set, which is adorable.
Important.
It is
to
important.
Know.
Yes, it is.
It's very round.
Yeah, there are
spherical
4 of them.
even.
They're so cute. They're spherical.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's literally like what the Pokemon accounts have been like tweet, like just a picture of the card, and the caption is "It's spherical." Like that's all you need to know.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And then January, the special reprint in Terra Eevee set will be called Prismatic Evolution.
Appropriate.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
All
That's
right.
all the TCG news.
Yep, the Eevee set. What a time to be alive. All right, in Wo-Chian's News Corner, news brought to you at a snail's pace. 10 years ago this week, they unveiled 2 more underwhelming Mega Pokemon thanks to the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire demo in Steelix and Glalie. They also confirmed the return of the PSS from X and Y and explained how DexNav worked. I miss both those things.
Yeah.
This week was also the week that they had to explain X and Y was not getting an ORAS compatibility patch. 11 years ago, we got X and Y. That is true. Actually, this is the weekend. This is the weekend 11 years ago. I remember this weekend very vividly.
Yeah, you did a live show.
I guess that was live. And like that was before like Twitch was really big, so doing live shows was a pain in the butt. Man. Doing live shows nowadays
Wasn't
is
it
super easy.
Wasn't it like Scissor Kick's birthday or something like that?
It probably was. I believe that.
Something like that. Well, in case it was happy birthday, although the episode comes out 2 days later.
That was still like my favorite. That was my favorite show we've done in a very long time. So,
I don't know.
Well,
I remember it because
that is one of my favorite episodes of the podcast. It's episode like 117 or something like that. So, go listen, have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Puckle's Pokey opinion. This week, Nintendo released their new alarm clock, Alarmo. I didn't know that was real.
Oh gosh! Oh, you haven't heard of this? Thatch.
I have heard of it. I have heard of it. I just thought it was a joke.
Nope. It is real. It is basically the motion tracking with an alarm clock that has alarms that will help you wake up as it detects your motion.
I don't like this. It's starting with 5 game themes. It has been confirmed to get more later via updates. No Pokemon themes have been announced yet. But what music/themes would you like to see if they did add a Pokemon theme? Gold and Silver. Done.
This is one of the most Japanese things Nintendo has done in a long while.
This is a very Nintendo thing.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm glad that they're being smart about it by making it only available to people who pay for Switch Online or who actually buy it from the retail store in New York. Yes. So it's limited, so it's not like it's going to be everywhere. And
oh, I didn't realize it's a peripheral. Oh my gosh, it's a peripheral. Oh no.
It's a legitimate alarm clock. It is it is a physical alarm clock that has these themes and whatnot. It has right now it's Splatoon, Odyssey, Ring
I thought
Fit.
this was like a Switch app. This is wild.
No.
Zelda and Pikmin. There you go.
It's a big object that you slap on your nightstand.
And it only works with one person in your bed, so if you have someone else sleeping with you, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Well, that tells you a lot about what they think about the people who have Nintendo Switch Online.
I'm also very unsurprised by this makeup of things that they have chosen to be the themes. Like being in Japan as recently as like a year ago. If you go to like the Nintendo stores in like not Tokyo, if you go to any of the other Nintendo stores, they typically have like pillars of like brands that they obviously like see as their core pillars, quite literally. And there's Mario, which makes sense. Zelda is always there. Splatoon is included in that for some reason.
It always sells well and has good support. So
Pikmin is also very much one of those as well. And then there's a fifth one that isn't listed here because it's Ring Fit Adventure, which makes sense thematically. But the fifth one that they usually use is Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah,
That makes sense.
Yeah,
yeah. And
like
that one
they have
honestly should be in the Alarmo.
Yeah, those 5 brands are the brands that like or series that they like really like to push. And then obviously like Pokemon just gets its own store because it's its own company. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Pokemon one.
Pokemon would be a pillar if it were just a Nintendo, but it's not. So it gets to be its own ancillary special thing.
Yeah, exactly. This is interesting, and I don't know that I need this, but thank you.
Yeah. I will say one thing in terms of tying back to the Pokemon. I did joke about this because one of the features it does do, if you are having issues waking up, it'll play a more quote intense theme. So like for Mario, it was playing like Bowser's theme.
Oh,
Like it kind of the
it needs to do the low health noise. It needs to do
That's
the low health
exactly
noise.
why I was thinking just that. God, that would wake me up in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And give me PTSD at the same time.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
or like the old school poison noise.
Oh no.
Yeah. If you can't wake up, you're definitely gonna have nightmares from that. Like
Exactly.
hearing that in your subconscious. Oh, no, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm gonna cut us off on the news here because we've got some trivia to get to. So let's kick it on over to our trivia in Puckle's Poke Quiz.
Oh hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark from the Dunsparce gang, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
Thank you for that introduction. We are going to jump right on into it. So, our first question this week is going to come to you from... I don't know if I can ask you that question. I don't know. It feels unfair, but I'm going to do it anyway. Swagzire the Quagsire. What is the only Pokemon whose base stat total is the same as its national dex number?
Oh.
Well, good news. It's not a Gen 1. It's not a Gen 2. It could be a Gen 3 or 4.
I mean, it could be
maybe 5, but it's not 6 or 7 or 8 or 9.
I mean, it could be Sunkern.
I think the minimum is still oh gosh, what is Sunkern's base stat?
Sunkern is like 220.
Sunkern's not that low. Sunkern is like it's like the 180s. So as Pokedex number, it's early Gen 2. Okay. It's not in the 200s, I know that. I actually just did a Sporkle quiz this morning to help wake me up, so I know it's in the 180s.
Although
it's not.
It could be a Gen 2. Like a lot of pre-Evos baby Pokemon could fit.
It would have to be, if it's a baby, it would have to be like Tyrogue, Elekid.
Yeah, one of the ones in the later part of the dex, not the ones at the beginning.
But I don't think they had like a nice number. If it was, what one is this? But goodness, because it's so hard to figure out exactly which one. Because that does.
There's also like a good nice chunk of Gen 4 where if you're a medieval, it would fit.
Exactly, because you basically got Medievo Gen 4 or like a single stage, like, something like that. Like a like a Carnivine, I guess. Something like that could almost work. And then Gen 5, you can just have the fully evolved. What's it?
I think this is one question if we don't know it beforehand, there's no way we work out the answer in a short amount of time. So I think we either shoot in the dark, we ask for a hint, or we cry. I think those are our 3 options.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to use the hint, I'm fine to use the hint. But otherwise, I think I would just shoot for either... You know what? If I'm going to shoot one in the dark, I'm going to shoot Swablu, because I think that's I think it honestly has like a nice dex number that it it's in the 300s. So I think it's like reasonable that a Swablu could work.
I adore Swablu, so I'm with you. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, I'm legit just like, that's the only thing that kind of makes sense in my head right now. So
I like it. Let's go for it.
Swablu.
Swablu is unfortunately incorrect. The answer is Archeops at 567.
Oh gosh, now I remember that fact. Oh yeah, okay, I do remember hearing that fact now. I forgot about that. It has such a weird number too.
Mm-hmm.
How close was Swablu?
It couldn't have been too far. But
Swablu is 333, so yeah, that's not a nice number. 310. Okay.
Very close.
Mm-hmm.
All right, your next question is going to be from Professor Snag. Besides the evolutions, what is the only Pokemon not to share a type with its pre-evolution?
Alola Marowak.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's... Yeah.
That is correct. It is Alolan Marowak. You could also say Mega Altaria kind of too, but I will take Alolan Marowak.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like literally the first thing I was thinking about the Mega, but I was like, I'm just going to put an asterisk on that. But when you said Lolowak, I'm like, oh, I don't even have to think anymore.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, that's it. I'm like, no, I can't argue that.
All right. Well, your next question is your Pokedex question as always. This one is going to come to you from Patron Saint. Its Pokemon Alpha Sapphire entry reads, Wherever this Pokemon lives, rings over a yard in diameter appear in grassy fields. They are made by the Pokemon as it eats all the grass within reach while lying prone on the ground. Who is that Pokemon?
Well, that sounds like a Slackoth. Doesn't it?
Okay. Yeah, I could be yeah. I mean, I'm fine to shoot a Slackoth. That sounds good to me.
Just lying on the grass eating all day?
Yeah. I mean, Munchlax?
Also could work, but I feel like it would eat more than grass.
Oh, true. Yeah, no, that eats everything. Yeah.
All right. I will give it to you. The answer is actually Slaking, but it's pretty much the same thing.
Hey, there we go.
So you got 2 for that. Your hint entry is going to be from Fire Red Leaf Green, and it would say, it is the world's most slothful Pokemon. However, it can exert horrifying power by releasing pent-up energy all at once.
That would have told us it was Slacking and not Slackoth, yes.
Yup.
All right. Well, your next question is your multiple answer question. You can get up to 3 points here. There are 4 answers. So for one, if you give me 1 answer, that's 1 point. 2 answers, that is 2 points. 3 answers, that is 2 points. And 4 answers will give you all 3. We are going to go ahead and ask you. This is from Travis Binnacle. What 4 Pokemon have we seen carrying the flying taxis on the little loading screen? There are 4 Pokemon. You do have to lock them in. You give 3 strikes.
Yeah. 1 is Corviknight.
That is correct.
1 is Quackabilly.
That is also correct.
1 is Skarmory.
That is correct, yes.
Yeah. Yep.
There's one more.
I can't remember the last one. Can you, Shark?
Trying to think. Like, because you got that. I know there's a Dragonite in the airline, but I don't know that's flying taxi.
No.
That's the only thing is the asterisk. I'm trying to think what else.
So Corviknight is in Galar. Squawkabilly is in Paldea. Skarmory is, I think, in the first DLC. And then there has to be one for the Blueberry Academy, because they change every time. But the one for the Blueberry Academy, I don't use the taxi as much from there. So
because you only use it really to fly. To the thing.
What would make sense?
Because it's a flying type.
Probably a flying type from Unova. since you get Skarmory in Kitakami, which is supposed to be Johto.
Because I'm trying to think, Talonflame? No. Or is it...
I feel like,
No. Toucannon is one that I know is new.
Yeah, but
I don't
know.
think that's really...
I would think it would be something, iconic flying type for the region, so something like Braviary or Mandibuzz, but I don't remember seeing those.
I know you can... I don't think Braviary... I know Mandibuzz. But I'm trying to think where you find Braviary.
No, Braviary is, I'm pretty sure, in the game.
Yeah,
but
I just don't think... I'm just trying to think if it's in the Blueberry Academy or not. That's the only thing because I know for sure Mandibuzz is, because that's in
in the
No,
nests.
I don't think... in those big old nests.
I don't know that it needs to be there in order to be the taxi Pokemon.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna need an answer here, guys.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know, do you want to use the hint since we got a question wrong? Or do you want to keep it for the base stat question?
Do we get strikes?
You do get strikes. 3 strikes and you're out.
Oh, we do. Oh, okay, then.
Let's shoot.
For Braviary?
We can try Braviary and... Yeah.
You gonna go Braviary?
Yeah.
Braviary is incorrect.
Okay.
Um,
Wait. I think maybe Skarmory is not in Kitakami. Maybe Skarmory is in the Blueberry Academy, and the one in Kitakami is a Noctowl.
Are you locking that in?
It sounds like a lock that one in.
Yeah.
That is correct. It is Noctowl and Kitakami, Skarmory at Blueberry Academy.
Okay.
There we go.
I mixed them up and it threw us off.
All right, that is all
What we
4
got
of them.
there?
Corviknight and Galar, Squawkabilly and Paldea, Noctowl and Kitakami, and Skarmory in the Blueberry Academy. All right.
Question.
Your next question is your base stat question, as always. And this is going to be, just to keep going with the spoopy month, this is from Transylvania Twister, which I assume is just Liger, but another made-up name. What Dark-type Pokemon has the lowest base special attack of all Dark-type Pokemon?
Oh. Are we using the hint? Because I have no
We
idea.
could use the hint. I have a guess in my head, but let's use that hint. So,
this is a dual-type Pokemon. It has an additional type, and it may be a regional form as well.
Original form.
Would the regional form be dark type, or would it be
regional form is dark type,
poison type? Huh?
The regional form would be dark type.
Oh.
Okay, so that removed my Sneasel guess. Okay, dang it.
Okay. Well, there's there's a regional Rattata, which I'm guessing doesn't have the best special attack in the world.
Rattata
What else is?
Okay, because you've got Rattata, Executor. I'm just going like the regionals. Pikachu.
We also like dark types that are regional forms are also like Zigzagoon, but
Yeah, Zigzagoon. I don't think it's because it's Zigzagoon. I don't think it's any of the other Galars.
Not that I can remember off the top of my head.
And then Gen 9.
We only have like
There's
1, 2.
Yeah, right. We don't have that many regionals. And then
Yeah.
Hisui. I don't think there was. I'm trying to think the Hisui Dark because
Yeah, no.
I don't think there was a Hisui Dark. Oh, that's Quillfish.
Other than
but it's not Quillfish.
I don't think it's Quillfish, and it's definitely not Samurott. So
Yeah, exactly. So
I think it might be Rattata, unless we're.
it's either
forgetting
Rattata
something.
or it's Zigzagoon, and it's a 50-50 on those. And I'm willing just to shoot Rattata because I think
Same.
I just shoot Rattata and just go for it.
Yeah.
Alolan
of Rattata is correct with a 25. Next is Poochyena and Zigzagoon with 30. and Cecil, Sandile, and Scraggy all at 35.
Cool.
So you guys got,
There you
I
go.
believe that's 7 today.
Mm.
So that does change up our standings. As every week it does. It does change. It kind of changes the top 5. We're gonna have like a playing around, I swear. It's gonna be real rough. Okay, so here we have Whimsicott now in first place with 36 points.
Oh.
Bocephus in second with 31. In a 3-way tie for third, we have Claude9, R Sigma, and Sharkfinnagin with 28. In sixth place, Seth Vilo with 27. Seventh place, Linian with 24. Sublime is in 8th with 20. Jushiro is in 9th with 17. And Shamu is bringing up the rear with 13. Still anybody's chance. I think there's still like 6 or 7 more weeks till we lock in the ladder. We're going to have, at this rate, we're going to have some kind of like playing around to see who can make it out of the top 3. It's just going to be a really intense and hope your internet connection's good type scenario, I assume. Where I'm just going to be like, ring it in, guys, shout the answers.
Oh, God.
All right. So with that, guys, we're going to kick it on over to our topic. Hey, Thatch here. A lot of you have been asking how you can hang out with us during the week. Well, the best way to do so is come to our Discord server at puclpodcast.com. You can join our server and you can hang out with us, talk Pokemon, battle, do a bunch of cool things, join in our tournaments. So what's stopping you? Come on over, puclpodcast.com. You can jump right on in and have a good time talking with the hosts of the show, as well as the large community we've gathered over the years. So come on, let's hang out. Welcome to our topic. Our topic today is VGC, where we're going to talk everything VGC. Actually, it's just like our experiences, because I don't know that I can get super detailed into the meta, in all honesty. Only because I am not. I am just a mere tourist in this land now, and I can only talk to you about what my experiences are, and I cannot give you anything that is valuable in terms of actual constructive criticism on your teams. Other than like putting Surf and Hydro Pump on your Pokemon probably isn't smart if you're playing singles.
That's what Muddy Water is for.
Yeah, exactly. I saw somebody actually, speaking of Surf, like playing on the ladder recently, I did see somebody play with Surf on like a melodic, and I was like, what is happening? This is not right.
I mean,
it was like a Organical and a melodic on the other side. This is very low ladder, mind you. This is like I'm in Pokeball tier when this happens.
Oh, yeah.
Like, honestly, until you get to like Ultra Ball and maybe even Master Ball, there's like nothing. There's just like, you're not playing real things, you know? It was kind of weird. That was certainly weird. But yeah. So they had like a Garganacl and it used Protect before they used Surf, as if like that was gonna matter. And I was just like, what is happening right now?
I mean, that's a way to work around it, because I think like Surf has some potential just because of like you could trigger weakness policy, and I know that's a thing you could do, but it's like there's some use for Surf, but I'm just like surprised that it's just.
I'm sure some people used it in Gen 8 when like we had when Colossal was much better.
yeah,
And just a trigger Steam Engine.
to proc Steam Engine.
Yeah, just to proc the Steam Engine. Especially, I mean, one of my favorite changes that they've made in the past 2 generations to competitive Pokemon in general is like the update as you go speed tiering system.
Yes.
Oh, yes. That's such a subtle, but.
Like, I love that I don't have to wait a turn for Tailwind to kick in. I don't have to wait a turn for like my boosts to matter. I just get to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can play around with the speed tiers as we go. So I really, really appreciate that. I like it. It makes the game a little bit more fun.
Mm-hmm.
And gives more value to things like Tailwind.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have...
Especially Prankster Tailwind.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So we have a little game to play at the beginning to get us into the discussion, because we've determined that nobody wants to listen to us talk about competitive Pokemon. Yeah, that's not entirely true, but we hear you. We know you're casuals.
Mm-hmm.
This is more Poke Quiz, essentially. Like, we're going to do a lot more Poke Quiz.
Mm-hmm.
to get us into discussions, but this is to get us talking about some Pokemon that we are seeing in VGC, and we can talk about them a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 2 Pokemon here, and they're each going to have they have a usage statistic, and how often that they're used based on the Pokemon Home usage, because Pokemon Home will tell us what the usage is for October. And so as of recording, we can tell you which Pokemon is more popular than the other, maybe. So the first 2 we're going to start off with are Murkrow and Talonflame. Which one do you think is used more? Murkrow is typically, I mean, they honestly play very similar roles, because Murkrow gets Prankster and Talonflame gets Gale Wind, so they can both set up Tailwind. Murkrow does get a little bit more utility in the Prankster, I feel, but Talonflame does get to hit things with Brave Bird priority if it doesn't have its hit points damaged at all.
Yeah, which get damaged by Brave Bird, so I feel like
Talonflame got nerfed.
unless your strategy is very locked on and you know you're gonna have Tailwind on the first turn and never need it again, I feel like Murkrow might be better. I'm not sure, though.
Trying to think, because I feel like I've seen a little more Talonflame kind of around, just because it does have a pretty good just like defensive typing, especially against something like a Rillaboom, which I know is one of the more popular Pokemon at the moment. I'm just trying to think what item on Talon, trying to think what it's using.
That's a good question. You know what? I'll just tell you. I'm gonna look up the. This isn't from Pokemon Home, but from Picolytics. I'm gonna grab the Picolytics for Talonflame.
Because Murkrow is Eviolite. We obviously know it's Eviolite. It's going to run like Taunt. It's Taunt, Tailwind, and then 2 other moves. Maybe.
Does it still get Quash?
I believe it does.
Quash and Foul Play, then.
No, Quash has not been called. It still exists.
Okay, so maybe it is. No, Quash could then be.
Might also have Protect, since it's VGC. And everything gets Protect, but...
Talonflame's item would typically be a Covert Cloak, it looks like.
Fake out.
Like just over 50% of the time. And then, I mean, it has like a variety of other items that it would hold otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Covert Cloak makes sense, because you want to set up the Tailwind and not be fake out stopped. So, because even then, if you are chipped, you still don't mind, because that means you're probably faster than the other Pokemon anyway.
Yeah, your speed is insane.
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily have to run Gale Wings, even though it's still probably...
It is definitely better. Do not.
Foul Play Burning is still funny, though. Burn the fake out user trying to go again into you.
I don't know. I wanna be for the little guy, and I wanna say Murkrow. We don't have to give the same answer. Like, we're not playing trivia. So
No, you guys don't have to give the same answer. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Talonflame. I think it's just a little bit more.
It is Talonflame by a hair. It is like 27% Talonflame, 25% Murkrow, or something like that. Or I don't know how they actually gauge these. I don't think these are percentages, but
it might be their rank, because I think Home just does like straight up ranks.
This is probably the rank. This is probably just the rank.
Actually, well then 25 would be most usage, so Murkrow.
Oh yeah, so Murkrow is probably better. Yeah, you are correct. All right.
Yeah, Murkrow just by a hair.
Just by a hair. So we've got two other Pokemon, not new, but one is new. One is Farigiraf, and the other one is Mail Indeedee. Both of these are typically Trick Room setters in terms of usage. So I don't know which one you think would be the better Trick Room setter. Farigiraf also gets the utility with like Armor Tail.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of fun.
I've seen that be very relevant.
Farigiraf being competitively viable is my favorite thing that's happened.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
It is my favorite thing that's happened.
I'm gonna say that it's Farigiraf, but I also think like the higher percentage is the highest usage. So that's the one that wins.
Yes.
I think female Indeedee is better than male Indeedee, and therefore I think Farigiraf is higher than male Indeedee. I think that a male Indeedee, you are going to be probably pushing more that offensive, like just psychic spam with like expanding force. But I think the Farigiraf's Armor Tail just gives it a bit more than just the offensive presence of. I would go Farigiraf as well.
Farigiraf. Okay. So it turns out Farigiraf is 32 and male Indeedee is 29. So if we're going off rankings, male Indeedee is still beating it out.
But we're going by usage, not ranking.
No, this is ranking. This is actually ranking, I believe, because it's coming from Pokemon Home.
But it says usage.
The highest usage is the one that
the usage is a ranking.
Yeah, if you go into Pokemon Home, you actually they don't tell you the actual percent. They tell you it's literally a rank.
Yeah.
Like they'll tell you like the top 10, or like they'll go from there. They don't give you an exact stat. Peakalytics will tell you usage, but if you need to go in Peakalytics, if you just go tag on the home, they just
okay. So these are not percentages.
No. These are the rankings.
Yeah, no, they're not percentages. They're actual yeah.
Now I see. Okay.
All right. So the next one is Clefable versus Magmar. I like these because Clefable is like an old school follow me type Pokemon. And honestly, just like a good fairy type Pokemon, mostly in singles. And then Magmar, which we were talking about earlier, Magmar and Electabuzz are like making a resurgence in VGC because they're these really cool Eviolite follow me holders, which is just awesome. I love that Magmar and Electabuzz are both making comebacks in VGC right now. It is fantastic. I need to go find a team actually with Electabuzz and run that on the ladder and see how I do with it.
Yeah. I think I tried to inform myself by watching a video about the usages in the Dortmund regional, and Magmar was very successful, so I'm gonna say Magmar.
Yeah, I know that one's just kind of catching on. That one's kind of the new hotness.
Yeah, but this is October, so
literally and figuratively. But I think Clefable is still, a little bit more, just because that is, I'm trying to think about the metagame right now, and I think your fairy types right now are basically you're running Whimsicott for the, the utility, and you have Primarina that can be used as a decently offensive, bulky type mon, and then I think Clefable's the other big fairy type right now, and I kind of think but I'm kind of going Clefable. Just because I think Magmar's still catching up to usage. So I think most people are still going to think the average Pokemon Home. I'm
going to tell you, Shark, you're wrong. It's actually Magmar. Magmar's at 38 and Clefable's at 42 on the rankings list.
Wow.
Ooh.
Now, this one, I find the next couple have just like Hisuian Pokemon in them, which I think is awesome because in the original format for Scarlet and Violet, which is kind of what we've reverted to an extent with Regulation H, where it's just no legendaries, no Paradox Pokemon, which is fantastic. I love it. We're back to this land, but beforehand, we weren't allowed Hisuian Pokemon because they weren't available in the game yet because of Home didn't come out, right? So we're in this like really, really, really cool format where these Pokemon get to shine. And so we have two Pokemon here that both I think are actually pretty decent. Unfortunately, Hisuian Arcanine is one of them. I think Hisuian Arcanine is a very good replacement for Incineroar. And it's just better than regular Arcanine because it also gets Rock type. So it makes it a little bit more defensively viable. But unfortunately, Incineroar exists. So you're going to do Incineroar things with Hisuian Arcanine. And unless your team really needs something that's just we really need this fire rock coverage, I don't think you're going to run it. I think you'll run Incineroar. And then also Hisuian Zoroark, which I haven't seen a lot of people playing, honestly, either. But it's a cool Pokemon, so I assume it's just used.
It's really cool, but
Normal Ghost is pretty cool.
Not as cool in doubles.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think it's as cool in doubles, so
I did see a funny video with the Zoroark recently, but it was a silly gimmick with you basically using Slowpoke as well. Basically, they led with with a Torkoal and a quote Slowpoke. They swapped the Slowpoke for a different or they swapped the Torkoal out for an actual Slowpoke, and then the Zoroark Slowpoke spams Dark Move or whatnot. But basically, it's like a Trick Room. It was basically like a Trick Room Slowpoke, and then use Surf to trigger Weakness Policy on the Torkoal. And so Torkoal starts spamming Eruption Sweeps because it's super boosted in the sun. Oh, and it does Skill Swap too. Skill Swap to trigger to re-trigger Sun against a Rain team that swapped its Pelipper back and forth. So it was a silly gimmick type thing, but it's Zoroark I can see just having some sneaky usage.
I will say that seems too niche to me, so I'm gonna vote for Arcanine.
I think the same thing. I think Arcanine as well.
You are correct. Arcanine, Hisuian Arcanine's at 45 or 52, my bad. And Hisuian Zoroark is at 55. So Hisuian Arcanine is definitely winning that one. All right, so this next one is Hisuian Decidueye, which I have seen being used, which is fun, and I really like.
Claude even used it on his team.
Yeah, Claude used it to success. Has Claude put his team up as a rental? Because I want to try it out if it's not a rental.
Actually, yes, he does have it, and the rental code is there. If you check a look in the submissions for anyone watching, you can see some teams.
Okay, I need to look for it. I need to look because I want to use this team.
The other teams don't have rental codes, but his does. So
we have Hisuian Decidueye, and then we also have Delphox. Now I don't know what either of these Pokemon do, and if it's applicable. But which one do you think is used more right now?
The Decidueye that Claude uses is a scope lens, scrappy with triple arrows, leaf blade, sucker punch, protect. So it's just kind of an offensive thing, and using triple arrows, little niche things to do super fighting damage.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what a Urshifu would do almost, using the kind of bypassing with the crit stuff. Delphox, I think it's probably just going to be might be support, but I feel like it's just your Scarf Fire that you kind of do, but it can do trick shenanigans maybe.
I think people would be more inclined to use Hisuian Decidueye just because
it's cool.
It's new, and Delphox is like the kind of Pokemon that doesn't do anything uniquely enough that you think of them for your team. So
it's like it has the trick, but I think in my head, if you're going to use a Delphox, why aren't you using Hisuian Typhlosion?
You might as well using Hisuian Typhlosion. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Same brain there. You're gonna gut run Scarf Eruption.
Yeah. And you have similar coverage, so
yeah, I think a Decidueye as well. I think it's fun.
All right, so you guys are going to go with Hisuian Decidueye. You are incorrect, both of you. Delphox is at 59 and Hisuian Decidueye is at 62.
No, but it's close. But
I kind of like that. We got to talk about some of the bigger things in the meta and some of the fun little things to do. But we have a couple other games that we can play. I think we were talking about this beforehand that like Terra. We probably talked about this at the beginning of the show, but Terra is just a much better mechanic. That is prevalent in VGC right now. Honestly, you can use it wrong. You can do a lot of things. There's a lot of people, or Pokemon can be any Terra type, which is really awesome and really cool. And it allows for a lot of different strategies.
Mm-hmm.
There are some Pokemon that have Terra types that are definitely preferential, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They're types that will typically always be on these Pokemon. And for certain reasons, and we could talk about those reasons as they come up. We've got some of like the more prevalent Pokemon in the meta right now. I have 5 of them: Golden Go, Sneasler, Archaludon, Primarina, and Whimsicott. As well, with those, we've got their top Terra types. Each Pokemon has a number of Terra types that are over 20% in usage, and so I figure we could try to guess those, right? They're blanked out to me as well, so I can guess as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we can go from that. So Golden Go is, I think, the number 1 usage Pokemon in the meta right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, shares spots with Rillaboom. It depends on which ranking ladder you look at.
Exactly,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It is Golden Go is one of the, if not the top Pokemon in VGC Regulation H right now. And that's just because like it gets like Make It Rain, which is just a very, very good Steel type move that hits both Pokemon, and it also gets like access to Nasty Plot, so it can boost that special attack. And Shadow Ball's decent coverage, and Ghost Steel is one of the best types in the game.
Yep.
Best type, and its ability being good as gold, making it immune to all, like, it can't be targeted for, like, or can't be spored, it can't be paralyzed, can't be taunted. A lot of those can't be used on it. And then also Ghost being immune to fake out stuff too. So you can't.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Like most of those big moves just like are just neutralized by this Pokemon. So
exactly. So it has 2 Terra types over 20%. What do we think those are? My thought is you probably have one that is Steel just to make It Rain better.
Yeah. That was one of mine, though.
And then I think I'm going to go with Flying just because then you can't get hit by ground. Like these are my thoughts.
I don't know if that also applies in doubles, but I've seen it do that a lot in singles. So that would be the 2 I would guess as well.
Because it's basically an offensive Terra or a defensive Terra.
Yeah, exactly. That's my thought.
The big weaknesses of Goldingo right now, with Ghost Steel, you have Dark, Fire, Ghost, and ground spam is a lot more prevalent. So you want something more immune to that. Dark and Fire, I don't like you can do something with those, but I don't think that, like for Golden Dingle, I don't think it cares as much for those. So I think it's more, I think flying is just the one and like sun, the fire isn't as prevalent. The sun is not it's a rain meta game, not a sun meta game.
Yeah.
I think, flying and steel.
The answer is 53% of the time it's steel and 23% of the time it's dragon.
Oh.
Okay.
Dragon, I assume, is just for more defensive type stuff. Like we were talking about, if somebody tries to hit with like a dragon type move, it's probably just more general. Like nobody's going to try to attack into you with a fairy type move, right? Like,
I think it's for fire type moves, probably. Like you wouldn't use fire because water is also prevalent in the meta. It doesn't help you with your ground weakness.
It also probably resists. Actually, it probably also resists the water. It resists wave crash. It resists muddy water.
It resists water, it resists fire, it resists water, it resists electric in case someone thinks you're going flying. So I can see how that might work, I suppose. Yeah.
Apparently, though, flying it's its fourth popular terror type with 4.8% use.
Yeah, I believe it.
That's a lot lower than the other ones.
Yeah, it is much lower than I thought it was.
All right, so we have Sneasler next. It also has 2 over 20%. My guess for at least one of them is going to be Dark, because it's a fighting poison type. Like, it's a fighting poison type. You want to be immune to Psychic. Done. Like...
my other one for this would be Flying, because it does Unburden Acrobatics stupidity.
I don't think that's...
That might also be for singles only, but...
The top moveset for Sneasler, it looks like, is Close Combat, Dire Claw, which is a poison type move, Protect, and then the last slot flips around a lot. The moves that are over 10% in usage would be either Fake Out or Throat Chop.
Oh, so definitely not a flying type.
Yeah, like Acrobatics is like next with like a 9.4% usage or something, but...
It has the usage, but it's...
It also gets coaching for some reason, so like Acrobatics is used just about as much as coaching. I definitely think Dark is one of them, and then and then Stellar is also an option I keep forgetting. So maybe like Stellar, so you just get like super effective. You get like double bonus on a Close Combat and double bonus on a Dire Claw or something.
Maybe, yeah.
So what we have is we have Dark at 41% and Stellar at 22%.
Oh, you were right.
It is Stellar. Okay. No, that makes sense.
We have Archaludon next. And Archaludon has one type over 20%, which is wild, which means it's probably either something like super ubiquitous. It's something that, or they just like, it's spread out, and I don't know what that is. I'm just going to go with Grass because that's what the one I was playing with had.
That's the one that's the one I've played against too, because that's the one I keep seeing.
Yeah, because it's for defensive. It blocks all of its weaknesses for the most part.
Yeah, I'm gonna go against the grain and say it might go electric.
It's just a boost. I think that would be my second guess. Our one type here is Grass at 37%. I would say like electric seems fair to me, but I think you'd still get hit by earthquake damage regardless, right? And you can't rely on the rain to be there the entire time either. So I think that's a little,
unless you're bringing a rain team of your own. So
its next typings are the next 3 are really close in usage. It's Fairy at 15%.
Yeah, I can see that.
Steel at 12 and Flying at 12. So like
I can believe all of those.
All defensive then. Okay.
So electric is right. Oh, excuse me. Electric at 12. Yeah. So electric is there. It's one of the more common ones. It's just it's not Grass. Grass is
not the most common. Yeah.
Because Grass's weaknesses are mitigated in the rain teams. That's why it's...
I guess I wasn't considering its ability. Like, once you consider the ability, then Grass makes a lot more sense.
Grass in the rain with defensive boosts that neutralize all the fighting types that you're seeing right now.
All right. Well, our next Pokemon is Primarina, which is usually used as like a water type attacker. And it's got 2 types as well that are above 20%. And honestly, I think it's just Fairy and Water, right? Like it's just Fairy and Water.
Yeah, it would make sense.
Because it's bulky enough that you're probably not running a defensive Terra, and you're probably either trying to boost your water type attacks like Aqua Jet or Hydro Pump or Sparkling Aria. or Moonblast or something like that. Those are my thoughts. I don't think you're trying to go anything defensive. It's like trying to run it's trying to become like a ground type as a Lapras or something. That's kind of energy, you know?
Yeah. I can see that.
That's the only other type I would think would be ground. I think that's the defensive type, I guess. But I think honestly, water and fairy are just two good defensive typings that you just kind of don't mind just being water and fairy.
Because if you think you're gonna like get hit by a grass or electric move, you just go fairy and you're golden.
We are terribly wrong. Poison at 39%, and steel at 26, almost 27%.
So this girl really doesn't like the Sneaslers going around.
Yeah, it's like, no, Sneasler, you're not going to do any.
No Sneasler, no Sneasling. I don't like Dire Claw. I am scared of Dire Claw. That is what I'm saying. All right.
It actually doesn't go fairy at all. My gosh, solo. It's grass and water are next.
The next Pokemon that we have is Whimsicott with 3 types.
Oh gosh. Okay. So, I
definitely Ghost. Definitely Ghost for fake
Ghost,
out.
so you don't get hit with a fake out. I think another one might be
Fairy. I think Fairy is on that.
Just because your only attacking move is usually Moonblast.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Fairy.
I don't know though.
And then I'm gonna say Dark as the third one because there's 3 types and because it makes it immune to prankster taunts.
Oh, that's a good idea. I like that.
I like that.
In case it's somehow slower. I guess it's just more for the potential utility of Dark. I don't know if you necessarily Terra with it, but it's like it has that potential usage in case you do go Moonblast or something and you get taunted later.
Yeah, I think. Well, obviously, I would like to give
because Whimsicott's so fast. That's my other problem with it.
I would like to like. Is there a prankster Pokemon that is faster than Whimsicott?
Not that I can think of, but.
Not in this meta, I don't think.
Because your pranksters are Grimmsnarl and Murkrow and Whimsicott. So it's like Dark to be faster than other, like in case you're going go Dark and be a bulkier Whimsicott. Maybe not as full speed as like another Whimsicott, maybe.
I don't know how much bulk can help you. You're still on Whimsicott, but I'm gonna say honorable mention to the Memeancer flying, but I can also see Whimsicott maybe going what would put Whimsicott in trouble here, like just everything, because it's frail. So maybe it's more of a tactical.
Maybe poison, because you could say poison just because it's like
it could go. I don't know. I want to say it could go steel as well, because it stops steel, it stops poison. But it doesn't really help you a lot with like fire or something like that. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm curious.
Yeah, let me look. Did I accidentally close it? Oh, no, I didn't. There it is. So we're at Ghost at 26%, so we were correct about that. Water at 25%, and then Steel at 22%.
Water to fight the fire types. Okay. And it looks like its next usage is Fire and then Fairy. Again, it's not going to click an offensive. It's not going to click an offensive Terror type. Like we think, like, oh, of course the one's going to maybe do it.
It has 77 special attack. Like, even if you Terra, what are you going to do?
All right. Well, we have another game, but I don't know that it's we should get into it just based on time. But I just want to say, like, playing VGC again and getting into these Pokemon, because like Sneasler's been really awesome, because it really just is an awesome attacker, and Archaladon is a really fun new toy as well. That like it's just been a really fun meta. And I think it's worthwhile getting in and trying it out. And you should join us for the Puckle Badge Bonanza.
It's a lot of fun, and we're here to help, just to kind of give some advice, try to find teams, share teams, and listen, I'm currently I'm taking
Claude's team.
Yeah, you're going to take Claude's team. I'm using a Belly Drum Glow King team right now. I'm still stuck on the low ladder part. I'm trying to get the rust kicked off of me, but it's still a fun team because Belly Drum, Quick Draw, Quick Claw.
All right. Well, with that, guys, we're going to kick it on over to our Pokemon of the episode. We'll catch you on the flip-flop.
The episode.
Welcome to our Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode this week is National Dex number 1000, Golden Go, the coin entity Pokemon.
Its Pokemon Scarlet Pokédex entry states, its body seems to be made up of 1000 coins. This Pokemon gets along well with others and is quick to make friends with anybody.
Opening question about Golden Go for everybody in the room. Did we expect the 1000th Pokemon to be this?
A meme?
Yeah.
No.
I do like that they simultaneously gave us celebrated the number 1000 while also devaluing it. By being it's made of 1000 coins. Haha, it's number 1000. I do appreciate that. My bigger pet peeve, and not really a pet peeve, but why does this need to exist in the back of my head is to be fair, I like the way they handled it to some extent, but is the Gimmighoul forms. I really don't understand the Gimmighoul forms. Thankfully, Gimmighoul is a useless Pokemon on its own. And the fact that they're just roaming Gimmighoul runs around in the game, but you can only catch the chest form in the game. And the roaming form is stuck to Pokemon Go, and you can transfer it in for Pokemon Go. Sure, that's fine. It's better than Meltan. God, Meltan. Gimmighoul's it's weird. I do appreciate that there's no difference really between the forms. There's no difference in stats, and even if there was, it wouldn't matter. And they both evolve into the same Golden Go, which is perfectly reasonable, and Golden Go is cool. So, well, okay,
Golden
he's not
Go
really. He looks like string cheese, but it's fine.
When my friend told me that, I was like, yeah, I guess his hair kind of looks like string cheese. And they were like, no, wait, you don't know the mascot. You don't know the thing. And I'm like, string cheese, Italy, it's not allowed past the border. Obviously, I don't know the mascot. And they showed me a picture, and I was like, "Oh, that's Golden Go." And they were like, "Yeah, I told you."
No, he is literally the mascot. He is literally the mascot of string cheese.
Yeah, someone just posted in our memes channel that there's the Golden Go with the string cheese man. It actually has a surfboard, which is
it has a surfboard too, which means I wonder how much they just took from that to some extent. Because I don't understand why Golden Go surfs. There's nothing about Gimmighoul that's just oh yeah, he wants to surf when he grows up. It's just a surfboard. I don't understand.
I think what I connected with that was sort of Scrooge McDuck swimming around in his pile of coins.
Yeah.
But Goldengo is young and hip, so he's surfing on them. He's surfing everywhere.
And I before we go too far, I want to mention that Goldengo is actually a very decent competitive Pokemon. We talked about it a lot in the topic today. But, good typing, everything. The stats are great, actually. Special attack of 133. Special very defense 91. Speed 84. Not a terrible speed stat.
No, it's
attack of
decent.
60 doesn't matter. We're going to use that special attack anyway. Defense is 95 and HP is 87. These are all decent stats. Good typing.
Very decent.
Go Steel is a good typing.
Yeah. C Aegislash.
C Aegislash. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's a good Pokemon, and the move pool isn't terrible, but it's just Make It Rain plus Shadow Ball are just two really good moves. So why not just run Nasty Plot and Protect and VGC and call it a day? You don't need the Dazzling Gleam or, the Charge Beam / Thunderbolt coverage on Golden Go. You just don't need it because honestly, a +2 Make It Rain, because Make It Rain has a base 120 attack, which in doubles is taken down to 75% of that, when it hits both opponents. But it's still really nuts. That's a lot of power.
In singles wise, it's it can be used both offensively and defensively very well. It gets Focus Blast as an additional coverage to hit dark types that might try to switch in on it. But as well, it's got Recover, it's got Thunder Wave, it's got Screams that you can potentially use as well.
I like it because it's not like overpowering, but it's good. You know what I mean? Like it feels like I was gonna say an Urshifu, but Urshifu's probably a bit better than this.
Probably like a
Gliscor almost,
like a Gliscor Lando T kind of thing. Where it's just like it's not like it's. I mean, it's not as ubiquitous as Lando T, but it's
not oppressive, but it's good. You know what I mean?
It's like a starter in a way.
Yeah,
like some starters when they have the right, like look at Incineroar. Its stats are not overwhelming. It's just they are exactly in the right place, and it has the right moves and abilities and typing to be an incredible Pokemon in VGC. Goldengo feels a tiny bit like that. Nothing about it is overwhelming. It's just it hits a certain balance that makes it very good, but not overly good.
Yeah, if it had more special attack, if it had, either more speed or more bolt, like it starts to become that, but it is just right.
And also if its spread move was a typing that is more offensive, but because Steel is not the best offensive typing. Like, if it was Rock?
Actually, Steel is the best defensive typing. I don't know what to tell you.
Is it?
Yes, 100%. Compared to Rock, I think Steel has something like 10 resistances.
I said offensive. Defensive.
I heard defensive. I don't know what's wrong with my brain.
Yeah, make it rain. Yeah,
it's a terrible offensive type. Rock and Ice are the best defensive types by far.
Exactly.
Yes.
So if Make It Rain was a Rock type move or an Ice type move, that would be insane.
Yes.
But as a Steel type move, it's good, but not excessively so.
Yes.
Because it's good, because the things that resist Steel are still very good prevalent types: fire, water, electric, and other Steel types. So
exactly.
And it's not super effective against a chunk of Pokemon. It's only the Fairy type is a good thing to help balance the game.
Yeah.
But it's just a good neutral spam. Like if it were Ghost, I would honestly be more concerned, just because it has better offensive type.
I agree with that.
But there's always a fire type, there's always a water type, there's always a steel type. So it's always going to be resisted by something. Usually have at least two of those, or Terra into the third.
Yeah. Well, we already talked about Goldengo a lot, so I don't want to talk about it more. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah. All I would like to go back to is what we were talking about in the beginning, which is it doesn't feel like a Pokemon that is a celebration of the Pokemon franchise.
I'm okay with that, though. I don't need everything to be a celebration of the Pokemon franchise. You know what I mean?
I get your point, but it still feels strange.
Yeah. It's fine.
I'm not mad
I think
about
that's okay.
it.
I think it's fine.
It's just strange.
All right. Mention TCG stuff real quick. Goldengo EX is a very decent card. It did pretty well at a couple of tournaments. It hasn't won anything big, but it's done very well. Right now in the meta, it's probably not positioned in the greatest place, but 260 HP. It has an ability called Coin something, where if it's on the bench, you can draw one card per turn, or if it's in the active, you can draw two cards. And its attack is 1 metal energy, and it says for the number of energy cards in your hand that you discard, you can do 50 times that amount of damage. So it's been pretty decent. You can hit pretty high numbers with it and make knockouts. I just don't think it's able to keep up. It's very akin to the Chi and Pao decks we're running around with all the water energy, where they get discarded. So Chi and Pao is just a little bit better because it's doing 60 damage per energy, while unfortunately Goldengo is only doing 50. So that difference does make a substantial difference in the playability of the card. But yeah, all right, that's Goldengo. So with that, guys, we've got some mailbags to read, so we're going to kick it on over to our mailbag segment.
It's mail time! Send in your emails! Mail!
Welcome to the mailbag. The mailbag's the part of the show where we'll read your emails or send them into puclpodcast@gmail.com. This segment is also brought to you by a fictional energy drink called Green Tauros, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hooves.
As always, we'll give out the Green Tauros badge to whoever makes us the happiest. We did get a lot of emails last week because it was a top 5, bottom 5 episode. So I apologize if your email does not make it on this episode. We do want to know next week what your VGC experience or some of your favorite Pokemon to use in VGC are and why. Let us know at puclpodcast@gmail.com. You can, of course, do that. Or you can email us about anything. There were some people who sent in emails this week that were not about top 5, bottom 5s, which we would typically read on a different week. That is not a top 5, bottom 5 episode, where the entire inbox gets flooded with top 5 and bottom 5 lists. So please resend those or send anything else that you want to talk about. With that said, though, I want to jump into a couple of these emails about our top 5 and bottom 5 Gen 3 Pokemon. Our first email this week is going to come to us from Shift. And I believe Shark wants to read this one.
Yep. Hey, Puckle crew, it's Shift. I don't write emails often due to time zones and forgetfulness, but after doing a tier list of Gen 3 Pokemon, I have some strong opinions, so here's my top and bottom 5. In the top, number 1, Spheal. How dare the cutest boy not get mentioned? By Arceus, this is blasphemy. In all seriousness, Spheal is absolutely the cutest Pokemon with his adorable round shape and cute face, easily top 5. And I am biased too. This is absolutely should have been said. So yeah, I'm glad that someone said.
Yeah, I did. I do feel bad that I forgot about it. I thought it was a Gen 4 Pokemon. No, I didn't. I just...
Oh my god! I mean, I'm sitting in this room right now with my giant Spheal plush that we got.
Your giant Spheal that you won for $5?
Yeah.
Because your engineer brain gamed the system?
I was really good at throwing the little... Because it was basically a little mini game that they were doing at a regional where it was just like... I think it was like tossing... Oh, it was tossing the Spheal into like a small little target circle in the ground, and I was able to do it and be able to win the giant prize, so I won the giant Spheal.
Nice.
He did it in like 2 tries.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
First try I was close, then I went back, did it again, and I got it that second time, so.
I remember because I was there.
And I had to carry that giant thing everywhere.
I love that.
I was there, and I remember them announcing over the loudspeaker that the giant Spheal had been won, and I'm like, wow, that's cool, I guess. And then next thing I see, like 2 minutes later, is Shark walking over to us with the giant Spheal.
I love that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Oh, I had completely missed this story. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, that's why my username on our Discord is still Sharksfeel again, because I've yet to change it off.
Okay. Yeah.
It's been a good time. It was a good time.
I bet. My sister would be so envious. My baby sister, she loves Spheal.
All right. Well, keep going on the email.
All right. Yeah, no, we're good. Number 2, Kyogre. The monster, the Uber, the doom whale, god of the sea itself, Kyogre. Kyogre is the Uber to be since Gen 3. It's been a monster tearing competitive and casuals alike. Yes, Zacians and Mega Rayquaza were pretty broken, but Kyogre was sitting right there with all those other monster threats in terms of power or flexibility, and being both of their best partners in VGC respectively. Salamence at number 3. Design is simply great with its lore. It's the first traditional European dragon that we got with a nice color scheme and design, not to mention its great lore of its line with the story of Bagon's dreams and then triumph of flying.
Wait, what is Dragonite then? I mean, yeah. I know it looks like a toy dragon, but
I mean, Dragonite is more like a cutesy dragon. This one's more like the, like the ones that you see, like the old sketches and the myths and legends of like England and all that stuff.
Yeah, Dragonite is more like a dragon from that, that old Disney movie.
Yep, Peach Dragon. Cradilly is number 4 on the list. It's prehistoric plant type that isn't always actually a plant, but is actually an invertebrate related to sea stars, sea urchins, and sea cucumbers. I'm a fossil nerd, and it's fun to see an interesting design based on an uncommon and overlooked creatures with decent stats, move pool, and almost unique typing. And number 5 on the top, Ludicolo, the Dance Pokemon Pineapple Platypus. I'm Australian. It's a fantastic Pokemon.
It is the best one. Ludicolo is very good.
It's always fun to see it in any game, especially with the Disco King himself, Mirror B. Aside, I think that theme should be on the... if they do put Pokemon on that alarm, put the Mirror B's theme on to wake up to.
On the clock.
I love its design and animations, and in battle, it's great with the good typing. Good move pool with grass, ice, and water coverage, and support moves is all it needs. 100% a great design. And now, the bottom. It's hard for me to find a bottom because I actually don't like any Gen 3 Pokemon, but here it goes. Blaziken. It's overrated mainly. I don't actually hate it, but I always roll my eyes when someone tries to battle me with one, and I just dunk on it really easily. Hashtag Swampert Superior. Hashtag liked Mudkip. Number 2, Tropius. Tropius is such a great design and concept, being a flying banana tree sauropod, which is comical as 2 of those things are absolutely heavy and almost impossible to fly. But all this falls short because this Pokemon has terrible stats that no one uses it.
I like Tropius like as a concept. I don't know how I feel about it as a Pokemon, but I like it as a concept.
And I like it in using it in random battles because it's always that sub-citrus, like Leech Seed shenanigans set. And that's always just fun to dunk on people who don't know how to play around it. Number 3, Azurill. Marill, Pikachu, Clefairy, and Jigglypuff were perfect as pre-evolved Pokemon, and their babies don't need to exist. And Spheal is the cutest blue ball, that making it completely irrelevant. Oh, and also you even need an item to even get this Pokemon.
But it's so cute, though.
It's so sad looking. Why is it always sad looking?
I mean, if you had to lug around a tail that's as big as you probably wouldn't be too happy either.
True. Number 4, Volbeat and Illumise. Why are these not part electric type? That would make them a lot better. And I agree with that. Or number 5, Spinda. Why do you exist? Like, Spinda's kind of cute, I guess, but Feel is cuteness perfection, and if you want a cute normal type, there are even cuter or stronger normal types that were introduced in this generation. Thanks for reading my email.
All right. Well, thank you, Shift. Our next email this week is going to be from Danny, and I believe you've got this one, Wims.
I do. Danny says, "Hello, Puckle crew. Long-time listener, first-time emailer from the UK. Wales, to be more specific. If you've ever heard of my country, oh, definitely."
I have heard of Wales.
We have definitely... I even know a Welsh person. Look at that. Isn't that amazing?
I know about the UK. I know what countries are located in the UK.
I have seen a show shot and set in Wales, and I have met a Welsh person. I think we're okay.
The only problem with Welsh is it's almost entirely impossible to say the words out loud. Like, if you read them as written.
I mean, no. Okay, look, no. Welsh is written in a way that makes sense. Like, if you see a certain combination of letters on the page in Welsh, and you know Welsh, you will know how to read those. You cannot say the same for English, so I would be very careful if I was you.
No. I'm not saying English. I compared it to German, not to English, for the record. German is a very logical language, thank you very much.
Yes, much like Welsh, and unlike your English. So
they just smash words together to describe things, and they're just like, what is that?
Which, to be fair, is a logical approach. But anyway.
I don't disagree. German is very German, like in culture. Like the language is very, very German. Yes.
You were talking about having an engineer's brain? That's the entire country right there. Anyway. Let's go back to the email. Gen 3 has my absolute favorite dex by a wide margin. I genuinely believe that this was the peak of Pokemon design. Honestly, Gen 3 is a very strong contender for that. My all-time favorite Pokemon is Milotic. Love Milotic, which has more recently been run very close by Alola Ninetales. Ooh, another favorite of mine. So that has to make the cut for top 5. I fell in love with Milotic during my childhood, watching the Gen 3 anime, when Ash battled one in a gym battle. Its range of moves it used really caught my eye. I also enjoy the whole ugly Phoebus evolving into beautiful Milotic angle. So I don't know if you have read the Pokemon Adventures manga, but the plot of Ruby And Milotic is one of my favorites from the entire run of the manga, so I highly recommend it to you. Two of my other all-time favorites are also native to the Hoenn region, being Flygon, another favorite of mine as well. We have the same taste almost. And Metagross, which I don't like as much. I'm not on the Flygon needs a mega bandwagon though. I definitely wouldn't say no to one in ZA. I was thinking about this just last night as I was trying to fall asleep. I do hope we get one. I'm more upset that Flygon was skipped for, and, sir, in the new TCG set, Surging Sparks, I think autocorrect may have done something here because I don't understand half the sentence. I'm so sorry.
Okay, read it to me and I will explain.
I'm more upset that Flygon was skipped for and SIR.
Oh, secret illustration rare.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
It's the really pretty cards.
Okay, it was skipped for a secret illustration rare in the new TCG set, Surging Sparks. Autocorrect did do a thing, but I still needed information to figure it out. Thank you, Thatch. Though Milotic got one, so I'm still really excited. That's good. Metagross is just really cool and unique, so it surprised me it didn't even get a mention in the pod. It is usually considered one of the cooler Gen 3 Pokemon.
It is. That's why we didn't do it.
We like to be alternative here. The rest of the top 5 would be rounded off by Rayquaza, no explanation needed, and again, shocked me it didn't even get a mention, as in my opinion, it is way cooler than the Latis, and by far my favorite legendary. And finally, rounding off the top 5 is Dusclops. I think the design took a big step backwards when they gave it an evolution in Gen 4, though I do really appreciate how viable it made Dusclops for VGC by giving it access to Eviolite. All very fair. For an honorable mention, I would perhaps somewhat controversially nominate Walrein, though I just think the whole line is amazing. Everyone agrees with you, apparently.
Yes.
As a side note, I'm so glad you guys agreed on how much of a sick design Crawdont has. It came very close to cracking my top 5. It's a really cool Pokemon, yeah. I also really appreciate Corphish and loved it in the anime. I found picking my top 5 extremely difficult with so many memorable and iconic Pokemon left out. My bottom 5 was much easier, so I will be much more brief here. Illumise and Volbeat are both atrocious and an affront to God. They both need to be in the bottom 5. I think they're cute, but yeah. I agree that Azura is pretty pointless, so I think it deserves to be there. That's 2 people hating on Azura, like, the poor baby was...
Well, 3, because we did the same thing. So...
It was the mascot of my draft league team. Oh. Anyway, Manectric has such an awkward design, which I think the Mega completely fixes, but the base material is awful. I don't like Manectric very much. And finally, Castform. I just hate Castform. Doesn't everybody? I don't hate it. I don't think about it at all, ever. So, isn't that maybe worse? Thanks for your time, and keep up the amazing work making my drive to work on Mondays more bearable, Danny. Thank you, Danny.
Thanks, Danny. Our next email, and because it's a top 5 episode, I had to include it, is from Tamal. Good day, Puckle. Tamal here, back with another one of my idiotic top and bottom 5 lists. Generation 3 was the only one I skipped initially, and going back and playing it really opened my eyes to the unsafe situations trainers often find themselves in. From battling on top of an active volcano, to fighting a rabid Poochyena chasing the region's professor, Hoenn is a dangerous place. Luckily, or unluckily, the various Pokemon of the region...
I love that you're already dropping into an insurance commercial voice.
The various Pokemon of the region can help or hinder you in these situations, so here are my top and bottom 5 Generation 3 Pokemon, but they are with you in a nightmarish situation. You are stuck in an elevator, alone, and overnight, with them. Top 5. Number 5, Duskull. The elevator comes to an abrupt stop, and the lights go out. The darkness is cut off by the singular glowing eye of a friendly Duskull. Thanks to its ability to phase through thick walls, it's off to fetch help. Thanks, little skull friend. Number 4.
Oh gosh, I would die of fright if that happened, but the Duskull is trying to help, so...
Number 4. Plusle and Minum, as soon as the elevator stops, they look at each other, then at you, then burst into cheering to keep your morale up. Exposure to their electricity helps to relax your muscles as well. It's going to be a long night, but you can't help but smile at their enthusiasm. Yes, I kind of cheated by grouping these two together.
I thought for sure that they were going to use their electricity to start up the elevator again, but they're too useless.
Oh, that would have been better. 3. Tropius. Let's assume this is a massive cargo elevator. As soon as it stops and you realize you're stuck, the Tropius you're sharing your space with offers you some of its delicious neck fruit. At least you're not going to go hungry tonight.
Aww.
Number 2. Rosalia. As the elevator grinds to a screeching halt, you and Rosalia glance at each other. Noticing your anxiety, the Rosalia releases a relaxing fragrance that calms you down right away and brings serenity. You don't mind that it takes rescue workers 12 hours to find you. Number 1. Altaria. The elevator screeches, then stops. Panic sets in as you wonder how long it'll take until you're found. Then you hear the soft humming of your fellow passenger, Altaria. It envelops you in its soft, cotton-like wings, and you drift off to a pleasant, dreamlike state. When you're rescued the next morning, you tell the workers, just let me hit the snooze button for another 5 minutes.
I would never leave that elevator again. I love Altaria so much.
Bottom 5. Number 5. Dusclops. The elevator comes to an abrupt stop and the lights go out. The darkness is cut by a singular glowing eye of a newly evolved Dusclops. Thanks to its ability to phase through thick walls, it's off to... No, it's just leaving. And because it has hands now, it's flipping you off as it goes. I hate you, Dusclops. Number 4. Whismer. The elevator stops between floors and you sigh, great. You think, this is just what I need. Then you hear a quiet whimpering. You turn around and see a tiny Whismer in the corner, its eyes brimming with tears. No, it's okay, you say quietly, slowly backing away. It stops whimpering. It inhales, then screams, and screams, and screams.
Oh gosh, this is only number 4? There's worse than this?
Number 3, Groudon or Kyogre. Again, we're assuming this elevator is massive, and again, I'm cheating by having 2 in 1 slot. Either way, thanks to the ability of these super ancient Pokemon, this elevator is becoming an oven or a drown box within the hour. Here's hoping for a quick rescue.
Gosh.
Number 2, Torkoal. It's not just dark in this broken elevator from the power going out. This walking mine fire is constantly spewing clouds of toxic black smoke. Let's hope you can hold your breath for 12 hours. Number 1, Cacturn. You're riding the elevator to your floor, and then it suddenly jerks to a halt. As you fumble around in the dark for the call button, you hear raspy breathing, and notice 2 beady yellow eyes watching you from the darkness. It's Cacturn, staring at you with its smile never fading. You remember reading that it waits until sundown to hunt exhausted travelers. Well, it's late afternoon. You're stuck in an elevator alone with this thing. No one knows you're trapped, and you don't have anywhere to run.
Thank you, I didn't need to sleep tonight anyway.
So Puckle, who would you rather be or not be trapped with in an elevator? Again, this bears no resemblance to my actual top and bottom 5 Gen 3 Pokemon. Cheers, mate. Timal. In my last email, I wrote that office manager Azumarill likes to do wholesome activities like Sunday morning walks through Target. Yes, Thatch, I was referring to you. I just thought it was a really nice story. That's true. He did do that.
Well, if we have to answer his question, funnily enough, his top Hoenn Pokemon to get stuck in an elevator with is my top Hoenn Pokemon, and my top Hoenn Pokemon to get stuck in an elevator with.
Yeah.
I would say Spheal also works for the same reason it works for Altaria. You can sleep on it.
Spheal?
Yep.
As I look over at my giant Spheal pillow plush.
I would probably pick Volbeat just so it can light up. Like with this little tail light.
Yeah, no, that would be a good one too.
I think that'd be pretty good. All right. Well, Timal gets it every time. So I think it should go to either Shift or to Danny. I did like Danny's though, so I think I'm leaning towards Danny. Are you guys have? All right, Danny.
Yeah, which one? The one that we spend more time talking about Spheal, the one that we spent more time talking about whales.
Whales.
So, and I think we go with that one.
Whales wins.
All right, with that, you get it, Danny. Send in emails next week, guys, letting us know some of your favorite Pokemon to be using in VGC right now, or some of your experience with VGC, or literally anything else you want to ask us about Pokemon. or you want to talk about Pokemon, we will definitely give it a read on the show next week. If you want to keep up with us throughout the week, though, you can come to us at pucklediscord.com. Help us play with the Puckle Badge Bonanza. It's a great time. We love doing this. Next month is a Nuzlocke, so that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, you can also follow us over at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, those are the three. Yep. Follow us over at Twitch at twitch.tv/thepucklepodcast. And then you can go ahead and also follow us at youtube.youtube.com/pucklepodcast. If you want to help support the show, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/pucklepodcast. And you can go over to our over to Troll and Toad and use code PucklePod5 at checkout for some cool new things. With that, guys, I have been Trainer Thatch.
I have been the Fluffiest Whimsicott.
And I've been Sharkfinnagin.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.
Bye!